What up, y'all? Fellow quarantiners. How y'all doing? So today I'm super hyped, yo. We got Junior Boog joining us. Junior Boogaloo, the legendary. Sorry for the late start, but yeah, we're about to get going. What up, Stockos? Yee, my brother. Yeah, we about to dive in right now. We about to get a history lesson, get some ideas on the creative process of Junior Boogaloo. Uh, yeah, I got a lot of questions. I'm a curious dude, man. So this is gonna be fun. I got a whole paper, a whole list of questions. Hopefully we can get to them all. All right, Junior Boogaloo about to join in. Here we go. Yo, what's up, man? How you
What
doing?
up? Chilling, man, chilling.
Yeah, how's the quarantine going?
Just working, bro. Working.
Alive and well, man. It's something we gotta keep hustling despite the circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's getting warm too, so but I'm looking forward to hitting the beach soon, that's for sure.
Likewise, brother, man. That's what I'm looking forward to. Go in the water, go to the
Yeah,
beach. It's relaxing. You know what I mean?
yeah, for real, man, for real. Man, so like I've been doing these interviews for like almost 3 weeks now, just interviewing people from all different backgrounds and like some OGs, also like King Charles, Chicago Footwork, Baby Tied Eyes, and it's been so interesting to get everybody's kind of perspective on movement and the culture and all that. So you're somebody that came up in so many conversations, and it's a trip, man, because it's like uh, so many you've inspired so many people through your art. And like even I'm in contact with a lot of the just straight up tutters, right? Like not even a popping background, and a lot of them look to you for inspiration. So I'm curious, man. What how'd you get started in tutting specifically? Like when did you start?
Probably when I was like 16 years old. But the one that really influenced me a lot was this one guy. He's from LA. He was a bopper. I think his name was Boppin' Ed or Boppin' Ron or something like that. But he was the first one that showed me how to do the box tuts, you know.
Uh you mean
Like
like these ones?
uh like this, like this, and then yeah, and he will break it down like this, you know.
Ah,
This. But this was like in 80, 83, 84.
83, 84. Damn. Okay. So he kind of had this. It's not Bop and Ronnie, right?
I don't know. I only met him like a couple of times, but he's short dude. He had like a long Jerry curl.
Jerry Crow. It might be Bop and Ronnie. Yeah. Yeah. He's cold, man. He's super dope.
Yeah.
If people don't know him, man, he's super clean. He's probably one of my favorite dancers that I've seen. There's like a clip of him. He does like a back handspring, pops up, starts snapping,
Oh,
and he's like,
damn.
yeah, he's like super athletic too. But damn, that's crazy. So he started to show you some more detailed kind of tuts that than you've seen before.
Yeah. And then like King Boogaloo Tut had Bugs Bunny, had Mr. Ree, um, was Wizard. I mean, there's a lot of cats back in the days, doing King Tuts, doing tutting. But like like I watched all of them, so I really got inspired by all of them.
Yeah, and were they like breaking stuff down like real technically, or were they just more hitting poses and stuff?
It was more like angles, but it
Mm.
was like off. off what they felt, from the music.
Mm,
But
wow.
yeah. But
Yeah,
it's
because
everyone had their own like flavor, I guess you can say. So like I took a little bit of what I can, when I was younger. So, but Pop and
yeah.
Ron, Ronnie or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's
He,
crazy because now you see these tutters, and tutting's kind of taken off in its own way. Like you got TikTok, you got all these people all across the world that tutting is their style now, and it's not necessarily associated with popping specifically. So, um, it's interesting though to see like how you've kind of picked up these things over the years, but like your style is like almost timeless. It's like still you don't see like the stuff that you do in these showcases and stuff is like it stood the test of time because even if you look back like 15 years, you're like, okay, I seen something crazier, but yours is like still up there, like it's still like the craziest moments to a lot of us.
I tried, man, I tried, but the youngsters, like I get inspired by them too, because
Yeah.
like King Tut and Tutting, like they took it to a whole another level.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you had like people from like, you have the Turfers from the Bay, the Flexers from New York, and all those guys, Moonrunners,
Yeah.
all these guys just bringing their own flavor to it. And the thing is, I think one of the big questions I feel like I have is, throughout when you start to travel, a lot of people are asking about certain points in history and stuff. But I'm really more concerned about the mentality of like this generation seems to be dancing with a question mark.
Hmm.
They're dancing like with a question in mind, and it's kind of hard to be free
Hmm.
when you're just concerned with like doing it right. And you want to do it right by the culture, but
Yeah.
people are confused on they're confused on the history and they're confused on what terms mean and that sort of stuff. What is your philosophy on that? Like what is your approach to kind of like, defining things and movement and whatnot?
Um, you know, street dance was created from creativity, so like nobody really explained to me, you know, about the dance. Nobody really like told me, okay, this is how you do it. It was just watching people. So like nobody told me how to dance. Like I dance how I want to dance. So like if you told somebody to like, okay, this is the right way. You just do it like this. You do it like that. I mean, like it's right to just to teach them like the basic foundation. But after that, like they need to find them their own. Like they need to find themselves. So
Yeah.
so like back in the days, there was a lot of cats out there that was very creative. Like the
Yeah.
like the feeling and the dance like they had, but the creativity, man, it's crazy. It's like, damn, how the hell did you make up that shit? Like shit, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn. And then like a lot of cats just wanted to watch them dance so they could bite their moves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I was just watching a clip of Cobra before this, right? And
Mhm.
he was talking about this move called the centipede, like where he would break down each part of his body, you
Mhm.
know? And I was like, damn, I never thought about it like that.
Mhm.
And you hear a lot of these OGs talk about like just really kind of crazy ideas that they integrated into their movement. And back then there really wasn't like a quote unquote foundation, right? It was just kind of like there's kind of a format, like you just got to hit, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're hitting with it, game on. Like you could do anything you want, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, it was about the music and, how you felt. But like, um, for me, when I was growing up, like I was watching the older cats. So like, a lot of them, like learning from the Bay, a lot of a lot of the cats were like, they weren't like popping, you know, like hitting hard. A lot of them had that really clean dime stop. You can
Mm,
you can you can call it hitting, you can call it bopping, you can call it, but it was that clean dime stop with that little clean pop.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I moved to LA, everybody was popping, you know, like hitting hard, like boom, boom, boom. So I was like, oh, are you guys doing strutting? They're like, nah, man, it's called popping. So like coming from the Bay, you know, like I was so used to calling it strutting, you know, because
Yeah.
that's what I grew up with, roboting
Yeah.
and strutting. So like, you know, when I moved to LA, everybody was doing boogaloo and popping.
Damn. So they just had like almost like a, and when you say, let's say you were, just for like the history's sake, you were, I think you said you were 76, right? Is when you first saw poppers, like, or strutters in the Bay? Is that
Yeah,
when? Yeah.
I was just like a little kid and I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah. And then it kind of evolved from there, right? And so you were in the Bay until like uh 80, 1980? Is that right?
Where, we're in the Bay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, actually, like I moved from the Bay '81. I moved to
Mm,
Carson, moved to LA.
mm,
So like coming from the islands, because I was born in Samoa, so we moved to the Bay in '68.
mm. Wow. Okay. So you were born in 68 and then moved to the Bay. And then so you grew up around that. And you said you told me you were in the like the Mission District, right?
Yeah, lived off of 26 in Mission Army projects.
Dang. Man, when you were telling me the stories, man, like I had dreams for like 2 nights after that where I was like literally walking around that world that you were describing. Like I was imagining walking because I've walked the Mission District so many times because my
Yeah.
brother lives right in Market in Octavia.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, so like I walked that Mission District so many times. So um I was just imagining it like, 40 years ago basically.
Yeah.
Uh Man, it must have been crazy. So what was it like back then, like in the mission, like when you were like say you were in the project, so your day to day was like you go to school, you walk home,
Walk
that
home.
sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like if anybody knows like Army Street projects, you know, it's really ghetto. I mean, and you know, just coming back. And I remember these cats that always used to practice, you know, like they used to bring out the boombox and they used to practice. So me and my boy used to always watch them, and we're always trying to like mimic what they did. So like, you know, just learning, you know, try to do it. But everybody used to hang out at 24th and Mission, right?
Mm.
You, you, I think you saw like the BART station where they
Yes,
stand.
yes.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
24th and Mission, like back in the 70s, everybody used to hang out at that corner, and people used to battle there. So like, imagine there was this movie Boulevard Nights with the lowriders and stuff. So like on Mission District, all the lowriders used to cruise there, and you had
Mm.
all the groups that used to be on the corner. Like a lot of people used to wear their jackets, especially like the lockers. You know, like they had like express lockers, Latin lockers, gold tea lockers. They had some other, you know, some other groups too. But like everybody used to be, you know, those them streets were packed. If you ever see the
Damn.
movie, if you ever see the movie Boulevard Nights, like that's how it was.
Mm.
Look up that movie.
Boulevard Nights. Yeah, I'm like picturing the cover of it, like the kind of like the trailer cover of it. I've seen Boulevard Nights and the Lowriders though.
Yeah.
Were the lowrider culture back then, was it predominantly any like ethnicity? Was it mainly Latino or?
You know, like Latinos, you know, like there was El Salvadorians, you know, there was like a lot of mixed Latin, Puerto Ricans, Panamanians, so like,
Mm,
but mostly Mexicans. But
yeah.
like one of my cousins used to have a lowrider, and he used to be like in a car club. So like on Mission Districts, like everybody used to cruise that, and then like you would see battles like on the street, people, just hanging out like with a boombox. It was crazy, man.
Man,
Watch that
I
movie, bro. Watch that movie.
Boulevard Nights. I'm writing it
Boulevard Night.
down right now. Man, like, cause I think about that BART station, and I think like right now, yo, it's cutty over there still. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much like the homeless population is so crazy right now in SF. You know, it's been that way for like a decade, but yeah, it gets kind of wild there at night in the Mission District because you got
Oh
like a
yeah,
mixture of all the bar hopping and the homeless, and it's like it gets wild.
yeah. It was like back in the day. It was crazy, because you had like Army Street projects, you had the Fillmore projects, you had HP, Hunters Point, you had Patrol Hill. Like a lot of people used to live in Daly City. Uh, what's it called?
Yeah.
Excelsior. Excelsior
Mm,
up there. And there was this one spot like before you reached Daly City. It was called a donut hole. Everybody used to hang out there too.
damn.
Used to hang out on First and Market before they used to have the arcade there too.
Damn. In Daly City, like, is kind of, I feel like notorious for Filipinos now. Was
Yeah,
it that way back then too?
yeah. There's a lot of Samoans too. They had this one church like where all the poppers used to go to, called Falo's Church. That's where
Oh,
Jack and Charlie's uh, family is from. Jack and Charlie from Blue City.
wow.
Yeah, and
Dang. So Jack and Charlie were up there at that time, or were they there before?
they they were there before, but
Mm,
they moved to L.A. I think like in the mid '70s or something, middle '70s or something. But they had they had a younger brother named Ben. He used to get down too.
damn. So when my thing is like, I was watching these clips of like Cobra and Booyah Tribe and Blue City Shorts. Like, d- were they always like hitting that hard? I mean,
Yeah.
they were always like that's so crazy. So like even when they were strutting in the Bay, were they still hitting hard or did they
Nah,
pick that up?
Jack and Charlie wasn't, really hard hitters, but they had a, like that stop, like
Uh
every time, it was like, you know, their long curl used to go like,
oh yeah. They'd be like boom,
yeah,
boom. Mm,
but it wasn't like like, oh, it was just like a really
uh,
calm, like calm snap,
yeah.
like, yeah, like just smiling at you, but hitting hard, you know, not even trying.
Dang, that's crazy. So there was a transition because this is real interesting to me and my style too. Like when I'm trying to explain things, especially when I'm sharing, it's like, okay, you have these different techniques as far as texture, right? But really, like our goal is to accent the music, it's the sound. So whatever technique you're using, whether it's a stop or whether it's a hit or whether, a pop or a bop, a shake,
Yeah.
um, we're just trying to feel the music. So uh when you said they were stopping and then like in LA they were like popping and this is a few years later, right? So
Mhm.
um were they like uh did something happen when they came to LA or was it like yeah, how did that work like as far as strutting versus popping?
Um, the only ones that I saw mix like strutting with Boogaloo is Jack and Charlie
Mm,
because they already had the strut down. So when they met Sam, like Sam taught them Boogaloo style.
mm.
So they kind of mixed it like and when they danced.
Yeah, because they had like the rolls with the legs then, right?
they were doing shoot downs and like boogaloo rolls and mixing it with ticking, 3D walk, twistle flex, like waving, freaking crazy shit.
Damn, that's crazy. So in the Bay, when in the Bay, they were like when they would strut, they because they used that term Boogaloo too, right? Like, but it was a different type of Boogaloo that they were describing.
Well, Oakland has a boogaloo style, and when I was a kid, I heard the word the term boogaloo. So like a lot of people were telling me like, yeah, a lot of people from Oakland were boogalooing. So
Mm,
and like when I was talking to Charlie, he said he learned boogaloo style from Sam. So
mm.
I thought Sam was from Oakland at that time when I was
Oh,
young, But
oh wow.
when I when I moved to LA, that he told me that Sam was from Fresno. I'm like, oh, okay, like So I was learning different things, when I moved to LA.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's so crazy, man, because it's like how these words form and stuff. So when you were coming up and you were just kind of like Central SF, right? So you didn't really venture too far, but where you were from, it was kind of like this was called Strutting
yeah.
at
Well,
the time.
yeah, it was like like when you're raised up, that's all you hear is robot-y and strutting. So you think that everybody does strutting. You know?
Uh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
when you move to this place, you're like, oh, what is this? So they have to break it down like this is called popping. This is boogaloo. This is from this person. This this is from this area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like the more you met people, like some cats from Richmond, or some cats from Sacramento, or some cats from San Jose. Like when I went to San Jose, like I met these cats, these Samoan cats, but I was young. I think I only met them like that the same day, and you know, I told my mom, and my mom was like, "Oh, those are your cousins." I'm like, "What?" I got some cousins in San Jose that pops, or. So it was like like I met like a lot of people, like when I young, and I got inspired by a lot of people because I always give credit where it's due. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this right here came from Bop and Ronnie. Like I said,
Yeah.
this right here, like I learned from Charlie. This right here I got from this guy. I got inspired by like a lot of people, blah 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 blah. So from my dance, like I learned from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I nobody really showed me, like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. It was just like, okay, you watch them, you hung out with them, you dance with them, you try to learn from them,
Mm.
because like back in the days, mostly everybody was a thug, like everybody was gangster, like yeah, yeah, homie, like when you're a
Mm.
kid, you're like, oh, okay, because these guys are older.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah, there wasn't, yo, can you show me how to do that? Can you teach me that? It was
yeah,
more like, yo, sometimes they might go, yo, come here, I'll show you a little something, or you're just it's your responsibility to watch basically and
yeah.
learn.
I mean, like when they got down, like you paid attention and you're learning. You're like, oh shit, like, oh, okay, and then you go home and you try to do it. You're like, oh, okay, damn, that was tight when he did this. But back then you're only looking at a movement. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
really understand why he did it like this, why he felt it like this.
Mm.
So when you start learning, and then when you practice, you're like, oh, now I understand, because you're like, it's the feel, like he felt like this, that's why it came out like this. You know what I mean? because like
Yeah.
maybe the music, but his feeling made the technique, made the movement look so beautiful.
Man, that's crazy because nowadays we're like thinking about it almost backwards, where,
That's what I
you
said.
know,
Like everybody got everything backwards.
that's what it seems like. It's like, wait, we're like really concerned with how to do it right and the technique and all this sort of stuff, but it originated from a feeling of originally.
Yeah, because like back in the days, everybody knew how to dance already. Like everybody
Mm.
partied together, everybody socialized. Like girls dance with guys, and like everybody knew how to dance. But when it came to the street dance, when you learn how to, just just the technique, the movement, like man, it was like you could learn fast. But these days, a lot of people, they learn the technique, but they don't learn how to dance. So the most important thing is you have to learn how to dance, and you have to learn, understand the music, like the feel, because music is a expression how you feel. It's emotion.
So, did you have any, yeah, I mean, did you have any musical training, or was it something that you always experienced through movement? Or was, like, was there anything that like taught you musicality or things like moments where you felt like your understanding of music got better?
Uh, I think from the dance, like I knew how to dance. Well, I was forced to learn how to dance, but I grew up with like funk music, and disco funk. Like it was just like I would go to sleep with music. I would wake up with the music. Everywhere I went, there was music, constantly 24/7. Like we could be walking down the street and somebody turns on their like music, and all of a sudden like we'll just stop and start dancing. Like no matter where you're at, you like when you hear music, like you'll just start dancing. And
Yeah.
it was really crazy because you could walk by like a shop and they would play like some really good funk music, and we would just stop and start dancing right in front of the shop.
So it's just everywhere.
It was,
Everywhere you looked,
yeah,
parties, family, friends,
yep,
the environment. I mean, you were in an era of incredible music too. It
yeah,
was like it wasn't like some these were musicians, like real dope musicians, highly skilled. So yeah, so that's it educates your ear. Sometimes, in this day and age we might get like a sample or something like, it might sound hard, but it's made by somebody that's just like kind of experimenting for the first time.
yeah,
But then it gets into a popping battle, and then it's like, uh, but it's not necessarily diving that deep into musicianship.
yeah. Because when I was young, I took drums, violin, flute, and clarinet.
Mm. So you had mainly like their wind, like, their instruments that use your breath.
Yeah, yeah. But for me, how I really learned how to dance, the dancing with the girl.
Yeah. That's so okay.
Because
This
you know
gets
what?
this gets
You know why?
philosophical
Because
now.
because of course you get to jam with them, like yeah, like we're partying stuff. But the best thing about it, when we dance with girls, when they play the slow jam, and then you're like, hey, you want to dance? And all of a sudden you got that slow. So now it's slow.
Yeah.
Before it was fast, like hey, yeah, but now it's a slow jam. So now it's really slow. Now you want to catch that 1 2, like
Mm.
2, like you feeling her and you feeling and like damn, and then you feeling the music. So you're just in this different kind of feeling.
Yeah, man. There's not much that can replace that. There's really not. Like that's not something you could teach in a studio. It's like there's some
that in the studio.
yeah, there's a whole personality like maturity that comes with that too. When you ask a girl to dance and you like have this moment, but also your heart's like beating out of your chest if you're nervous, you know?
Yeah.
Or so then it requires you to kind of breathe, calm down. Okay, like how can I actually communicate a feeling through like physical touch and rhythm?
Rhythm. If you have good rhythm and you dance with the girl, she can feel what you're feeling, and you can feel what she's feeling.
Yeah. And I think that's something, man, it's just like dawning on me right now. I was like, we don't have that. We don't have that anymore. I mean, I had it when I was growing up, you know, at like a junior high dance or a high school dance. But yeah, we don't have those like slow dance moments. And there's a real educational process there because one, women have like are more attuned to emotion and like they have they're sensitive, they're like empathetic, you know, for I'm generalizing here, but then you have this ability to communicate like a feeling to somebody through your rhythm, and that's like immediate feedback.
Mm.
Immediate feedback. It's not like, oh, you know, you watch a clip and analyze your technique. It's like, yo, the feedback is gonna be on how she reacts to you.
Yeah, but you know, like it builds your confidence. You know what I mean? Like to dance with a girl, it's a big confidence builder. You know,
Hmm.
because like most guys were shy. You know, like they were shy to ask a girl to dance, and then like sometimes the guys didn't know how to dance. You know what I mean? So when the when they asked the girl how to dance, they couldn't dance. The girl wouldn't dance with them because they didn't know how to dance. A
Mm.
girl wanted a guy that knew how to move, that could feel the the music.
Mm. Man, yeah, that's something super important, man. I'm thinking like, hey, we might have to throw a slow dance one of these days.
That's why, like, you know, like we used to go to the club and like I used to see these black girls, you know, like booty shaking, and I was like, damn, I want to learn how to do that because I just liked the way they were moving, you know, like the hips. So I was,
Uh,
you know, like I'm gonna learn how to do that. And I would go home and I would practice in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I would go back to the club and I would like, okay, can you show me how to do it? And they're like, yeah, yeah. So they're moving their hips and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh damn, you got it. Oh yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So
oh.
that's why I like to do it. But actually, like the hips are the most important part of your body because it controls the bottom and it controls the upper. So like, you know, a lot of girls like a guy that knows how to move his hips. And vice
Mm.
versa, like, you know, guys like girls that know how to move their hips.
That's true. That's 100% true. But like it's like on a technical level, it makes sense too. It's like the center of your body where everything kind of
Yeah.
uh is connected. It's all connected in your center, your core.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean that's something uh like in my own, this is just a personal thing, but I didn't really I wasn't able to even explore my whole like midsection until recently
Mm-hmm.
just because of like self-image issues, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I didn't feel like, you know, confident in my body or I didn't feel secure in who I was. So
Shy?
like
Were you shy?
yeah, yeah, I'm still shy, man. I'm still shy, but also it's just like I mean a technical term for it is like body dysmorphia, you know, where you might be fit, but you don't feel fit, you know? So then you're like it actually stopped me from moving my whole midsection. So then my whole dance became, you know, arms
Uh,
and everything around it, footwork and arms.
yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But even my wave would kind of skip my stomach, you know? So it's something that I think is a cultural thing, you know, it's also like um, you know, you see it in other ethnicities that they start exploring that movement from the get-go, and that self-image issue never comes up, you know.
Yeah.
And I think also the core really has to do with, you look at any major dance that has like dope groove to it, whether it's dance hall or anything African based, you
Yeah.
know, it's like it requires you to explore that region,
Yeah.
that those hips, the stomach, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, when I learned how to dance salsa, like they use a lot of hips too, and
Mm,
even like merengue, you know, like even in Polynesian culture, you know, like
yeah,
they do like the Polynesian dance, you know, like the girls, they do the dance like they dance with a lot of hips, and
yeah, Polynesians, Hawaiians,
yeah,
Latinos, like, yeah, 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 it's something. It's also, it also is connected deeply with rhythm too, like
yeah,
how you step and how you start to feel grounded into the,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a
man,
it's a it's a very like, you know, special feeling, like you know, like when you dance and you feel the music and you know, like you're in a zone. So it's like sometimes when you dance, you know, like you're just going through it, but sometimes when you dance, you're like really deep in the music, you know, like you're in your own world, and
mm,
people could see it like, damn, oh shit, fuck, you know, and you're just like, oh, wow. You know, like let them go, man, let them go, just let them, you
yeah,
know, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
You
that
know what
flip.
I just, which what I just thought of was I'm trying to remember which documentary I saw it, but basically, like the majority of you know, Puritans, like the people that came over here from England or whatever,
Yeah,
uh, heavily steeped in Christian tradition. Uh, you know, dancing, like even my mom, my grandpa was a pastor. My mom, she was forbid to dance,
mm,
you know. So you know, she even remembers wanting to dance, but she wasn't allowed to. It was seen as something sinful. It was seen as something like erotic, you know,
yeah,
something
yeah,
sexual, you know. And I think that's passed on generation to generation, especially in that kind of old school, like European kind of, yeah, Puritan values, you know,
mm,
Christian tradition. So,
mm,
yeah, it gets passed down. And then you look at the other cultures, they didn't have that same kind of, you know, forbidden mentality around dance or rhythm or anything like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like if you watch like some uh different cultures, you know, like the in their in their dance, some some uh some part of it, you know, looks like sexual, you know, like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like hip moving, thrusting, you know, like slow, you know.
yeah, slow or fast.
Yeah, slow or fast. And you're like, damn, whoa, you know.
Yeah,
And same thing with dancing, same thing with popping. Like you can make it look, you know, like um just like raw. You can make it look like sexy. You can make it look whatever you want. However you feel. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's just so many different cultures that approach things differently, you know, and how things are perceived. Like, it doesn't, the interpretation of the Bible or the interpretation of religion is always like in the eye of the beholder in a lot of ways, you know. It's just like how the people read the text or how it's translated, and you know, sometimes religion is just a mask to control people too. So, um, yeah, man, culture has a huge influence. It's nuts. You know, I had this really random question and it kind of came to mind when my friend asked me. He said he's an up and coming popper. Well, not really up and coming. He's been putting in work a long time, but he's really dope from Argentina and he was just like his name's Jose Tapia, but he was like yo, how do I or where do I go as a popper
Mhm.
to better my craft and to be among the world's best? And that was the question. I thought, wow, that I thought about it, and I said, "Why are you asking me?" That's why. But I was really thinking like, how many other people really have that question, that same question?
Nah, I mean, like, how old is he?
He's 27, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
28.
I mean, there's nothing wrong thinking like that. Like if you want to be the best, like either you would have to go out and try to beat the best, or go out and learn from the best. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And to be around the best. It's
mm.
it's almost like if you're a fighter, and like if you only spar with like low level people, you're never gonna bring up your level. But if you spar with people that are higher than you, you're gonna learn more. And that's how, like, for me, like, I I I learned because I was always around really really good people, and that's how I learned. You know what I mean? But if you're alone, it's gonna be hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like either you do like uh you know like we're doing, like live streaming. You can learn from people, or like just ask ask a lot of questions, and just learn more. You know.
Yeah, with the internet, it kind of changes the game a little bit, right? Like, so you can be kind of isolated, but still get information and still kind of have a relative idea of what high level is.
Yeah.
Um, so it doesn't necessarily depend on your location, but if you had to pick like a maybe a spot, because part of it is what I told him. I said, "Hey, man, I don't really have that good an answer, but as far as location, because you can always." Sometimes being an artist is creating opportunities where there's not, you know.
Yeah.
And I also think that some of it is just learning how to speak the language of popping. Like, what are you saying with your dance? Now, being good at technically, like, that's one thing. That's like the beginning stage, right? But to learn how to communicate something special with your movement is partly cultural. Like, so, like for me, I feel really lucky that I came up around, some of the best in the world, like
Yeah, see.
from the get go. From the
So
get
you know
go.
what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, from the get go, I got super lucky with my location, and I didn't know I was lucky in the beginning. It was just like, in hindsight, I'm like, damn, I don't know if I wouldn't be anywhere where I am
Hmm.
without my community. So, but yeah, if you had to like recommend like a spot in the world, because I think of like places like Korea and Japan and China that they all got high level.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as maybe, I think it depends on the individual too. But what do you think?
I think if you can't go, you need to bring them to you.
Mm,
And I know, like, a couple of dancers asked me the same question, like how can I get, like, how can I be level up? Like, how can I improve my dance? I said either you bring the people here, or you need to go out and learn. Like learn from like a lot of people. And at the same time, you should battle. But you know, battling again, like you're learning. But when you're dancing with people, you're learning. When you watch people dance, you're learning. When you dance, you're learning. You're always constantly learning. It's like
mm,
no matter how old or young you are, you keep on. There's no limit. Just
yeah,
like me, I I still want to learn. Like when I see Pete, I'm like, damn, I need to learn. Like I need to practice. When I see like young cats, I'm like, damn, man, shit, I need to practice hard now. you know, but it it
yeah,
it it's not like, for me, like, it's not like, oh man, I need to practice. It's like, it inspires me, like, whoa, yeah, like every day, like I want to dance, but it's, for me, it's not practicing, like people say, oh, I need to practice, da da da. For me, I just want to dance, like I need to feel sweat. I need to get down. And after I get down, I feel good. You know what I mean? It's almost like a
Yeah,
workout. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think people get approach dance in different ways, right? And I think when you start to really approach high levels of the dance, or the longer you do it or the harder you push, you really confront your motives
Yeah.
on why you dance. Because like for you,
See, I can say that because
when
I'm old.
well, like for you, like when you see someone dope, it doesn't inhibit you from dancing. It goes, shit, man, like I gotta work, you know?
Yeah.
So you're motivated. Some people will take it like, ah, shit, man, I gotta go practice. Like I'm whack, you know? Because they're dancing to be good, to be perceived as the best, maybe,
Mhm.
you know, opposed to finding that finding the intrinsic value of why they like to move to music.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happens with a lot of people. It's happened with me, and I had to question myself, like, why is it why is it that I still dance? And you have to reconfirm why. Is my motive to just be good at something? Is
Mhm.
it to be accepted? Is it to be fill an empty space? And for me, it became like you have to go back to the origins of why you do what you do, and you got to be like, okay, that's what it was. I did this because I love the feeling of it.
Yeah. I mean, like, every time you hear music, like you're like, oh damn, like you feel something. You know what I mean? Like I could be like in my house, somebody could be cooking, and all of a sudden you hear music, you be like, oh damn, oh shit, like my oldest sister always like, somebody played music, she goes, oh shit, that's my jam, and all of a sudden, she start dancing like all the time. It's like natural, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like boom. Oh damn, that's my jam. Hey, imagine them like playing the song, and you're like, oh damn, that's my jam right
Is
there.
is that the one I was talking to in the backyard?
Uh-huh.
Is that the woman I was talking to in the backyard?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. That's my
yo, her
grandpa.
personality, I could totally imagine it. Yo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, she's so free. Like she's like that's just an innate part of who she is. And I think the interesting part about it is you have that essence when you bring it to popping, but there's a whole new wave of people that are attracted to certain styles. Like popping is kind of like a technical dance in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
So, and it's hard to learn. So it starts to attract like more introverted people.
Mhm.
So then it becomes there's a certain thing that it lacks a certain social quality to the movement.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what what do you what are you trying to say? Like with your dance. It's like when you're comfortable, either like around friends, or you can be like around like strangers, or you could be like in a battle. There's a like a different feel, right?
Hmm.
It's like when I'm like around my fam, like I'm pretty shy. Like I wouldn't, like I don't want to dance because they already see me dance like so many times, you know.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, a lot of my friends used to say, "Hey, Junior, get down, man." And okay, you know, hey, Junior, get down. Okay, hey, Junior, my friends want to see you get down. Okay, it's just natural.
Yeah.
But now that I'm
Dang.
older, like when I'm around my fam, like I'm a little bit shy. But when I'm around my friends, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the dance it changes forms, right? It changes, and the cool thing is as you age and also as you change environments, it changes the reasons why you do it. Whether it's like part of your financial well-being or whether it's, because you just feeling the song. That's something that'd be interesting to ask you is like, so when you do judge showcases, what's going through your mind, like to
All
connect with the music?
all of my judge showcases are whack.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh shit, that's so crazy. Damn. So where do you dance best then?
Um, I guess in a club, around people, my home, when I'm when I'm just free, relaxed.
Mm,
Because like a lot a lot of the judge showcase, like I'm freaking tired. It's like so
yeah.
when I dance, it's like, okay, I know you guys like this, so I'll do it. But it doesn't come from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh man, your judge solo's good. And I'm like, hell no, that shit was whack.
It's crazy because like you have the aesthetic of looking super dope, and then but the feeling is like that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. And that's one thing people don't talk about either is that when you travel to do judge showcases, you're on a different time, like all the time. And then, you've been sitting for hours. Now you got to get up
Yeah.
and get off.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
I'm already tired. I'm already tired. Now I'm like, okay, I just do it, blah blah. I just go through it. Okay, that's it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I can't give what I can give. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you ever feel nervous when you do judge showcases?
Um, no. Only if only if I'm judging with Pete.
Oh shit. Yeah. Why Pete? Why Pete?
I don't know, man. Pete, when he dances, he looks 18, man. He looks too young.
Oh yeah.
When he dances, he looks like he's freaking 21 years old.
Yeah, he goes off.
He goes
He
off.
goes off.
He goes off like,
Man.
car.
Yeah, it's intimidating for sure, man.
Oh yeah,
For
but
sure.
he's a big inspiration. Like he keeps me going. Like with Pop Wiggles and Pop and Taco, Jazzy J, Pop and Andre, like a lot of the old school cats. Every time I watch them dance, like it really inspires me. Motivates me. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you met these guys. When did you meet these guys? You met Pete, Pop, and
He
Taco.
actually Pete. He doesn't remember this, but I asked him about it because when I used to live in Carson, this was like I think in '79 or '80 when I used to live in Carson. So I went to the mall, um, the Carson Mall, and there was Pete, Sam, Boozer, Creepin' Said, Robot Dane. I was only like 12 years old, and Charlie said, "Yeah, those are the Electric Boogaloos." I'm like, "Oh, Soul Train." He goes, "Yeah," and I remember them being like so damn tall, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my little cousin." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Yeah, how you doing?" I was like starstruck, like Electric Boogaloo. you know?
And this was in 1980?
No, yeah, either it's '79 or '80 when I was
Damn.
Yeah.
So it was Pete, Sam, and Pop, and
No,
was
Puppet Boozer, Robot Dane, and Creepin'
uh
Seth.
oh, okay, and Taco wasn't a part of them yet, right?
No, no,
Yeah. When did Taco join?
I don't know. Maybe like 90, 90 something.
Oh, so it was much later.
Yeah, because
Wow.
I met Electric Boogaloo's. I mean, like not like I just like say hi, hi.
Yeah.
I'm not like
Shit. And then but you met Taco maybe a couple years later.
no. I the first time I met Pop and Taco was through Jack and Charlie.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was like I forgot. We was like in. That's when he used to have long hair, like long hair. But they were doing like industry stuff, you know. Because
Mm.
like in '84, like we did the Olympics in LA. But
Mm.
Pop, Taco, Hugo, like they danced with Lionel Richie inside.
Oh shit. At the Coliseum?
Yeah, because it was '84 Olympics,
Wow.
and we were outside. You know, Little Tuffy from Unique Dominoes.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Huh?
Yeah, I was with him outside. We were doing like the little shows outside. And we're
Like a street show outside?
no, there was like like a clothing line. So like they had little booths and like a stage, and we were doing like shows like at the booths, and we're talking, yeah, them guys are in there getting paid, and we're outside like getting this freaking making, making this little money outside here dancing on this little stage.
Damn. So they were backup dancers, or did they have like a solo in the Lionel Richie thing, or?
Yeah, it's you can see it on YouTube. Lionel,
Oh really?
yeah, search
Shit.
Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie,
Dang.
'84
Hey.
Olympics.
Ooh, I'm gonna look that up
He sells
for sure.
Pop and Taco, Hugo, and Sugar Pop.
Wow. Wow. And then so that's when you met Taco was then, or you met him before that?
Before that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was like oh, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling me about the time you saw him at a club or something, right?
No,
The
it
per,
was at
the per,
it was at the skate ranch in
oh,
Anaheim. This was like in 83 or '84. Can't remember if it was before the Olympics or after the Olympics. But we went to the skate ranch. No, it was before the Olympics. So like
mm,
one of my friends came back from LA. He said, like, yeah, this guy named Papa Taco, like he's dope. And I was like, yeah, I want to battle this guy. Who is this guy? And he was laughing. He was like, man, he's dope, man. But if you want to battle him, man, yeah, you should battle him. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But I was in like 15 years old at the time. So like the weekend came, so we went to the skate ranch. Went over there, and all of a sudden, like I saw Papa Taco, he had his rings and stuff. And all of a sudden, like I started taking off my jacket. And then I guess like the song changed, and all of a sudden, like he was like just like now all of a sudden, he started doing this freaking waving cobra shit. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And one of my friends was like, battle him, man, battle him. I'm like, hell no, I ain't gonna battle him. I feel sick.
oh shit.
Yeah, man. I was
That,
like, shit.
that's crazy. Hey yo, this is about to end right now. I'm gonna just start another one real quick.